Well, if we take it from the international law point of view, the US cannot take Greenland by force. It will be against international law, and it will be against the will of the population, because then there is the principle of self-determination. We need that the Greenland people must have a referendum, and not only one referendum, and they must decide to go to split out from Denmark and to join the US or to remain independent. But this is the framework of the international law. But international law also, there is a pragmatic matter, which is to see how things are developing in the international arena. If you take the spirit of the US, the history of the US, the thinking, the culture of the US, we see that this country was made by a lot of acquisition. And there are deeds, and these acquisitions are transactions. And when you see the whole history of the US, you can understand how they look at the world now. And you can explain how they behave. Everybody knows now, but know now what is this history. They acquired part of Mexico, of the state of Mexico, California, all this area of the Texas, Florida, all these states were Mexican states. They have acquired Louisiana from France. They have acquired Alaska.
Professor Bouden, as an international, of course, law expert, do you agree with what Mr. Osman or Dr. Mohammed Osman mentioned, or his narrative, that the United States might or can take Greenland if it desires?
They will not take Greenland as it desires, because it will be against international law, and they will not do this big mistake, because then they will compare themselves to Russia in Ukraine, for instance, and they are fighting on this level. And this is why you can understand why President-elect Trump has a different view on Ukraine, because he is preparing for this other game. And this you can understand also.
He is preparing for which other game, sir?
Yes.
President-elect Trump. He wants to finish. You mean he wants to end the Russian-Ukraine war, to pitch in to Greenland and start there?
Yes, because this is a major target for him, and we have to take what he's saying seriously. It's not just a bluff. It's not just testing waters. It's a strategic target. This you can understand also how he looks to the Middle East. When we talk about colonization of Israel by Israel of Palestine, it's in the same spirit. So that they could take land, they could take people, they could change the geography without the will of the people, by acquisitions, by force, by other means. And there,
the United States, sir.
Yes, but there the United States are not involved directly. It's Israel with the Palestinians, but it's the same way of thinking.